If that Easter's already next week, so
I know it.
kind of crazy how quick that came up, but
Yeah, then it goes way down.
yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Let us pray. I thank you, my heavenly Father, through Jesus Christ, your dear Son, that you have kept me this night from all harm and danger. And I pray that you would keep me this day also from sin and every evil, that all my doings and life may please you. For into your hands I commend myself, my body and soul in all things. Let your holy angel be with me, that the evil foe may have no power over me. Amen. We are in 2 Kings 5. And last time we had that wonderful washing of Naaman. Remember, he was the Syrian general. So he went to Israel, though Syria and Israel had been fighting and were having problems. He goes there, and it's kind of important to get the context to where we pick up. So remember, what does God or what does Elisha have Naaman do? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he washes 7 times and he's cleansed from his leprosy. So that was in the first part of chapter 5.
In the Jordan.
In the Jordan, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Naaman was like, "Why don't I go to Damascus? The waters are cleaner there." And that's not the point, but it's the word of God added to the water is what cleanses him. And this is, of course, a foreshadowing, a type, a prefiguring of baptism, where of course, it's not the water we use, but it's the word added to the water. And the same way Naaman is cleansed from his leprosy, we are cleansed from sin. And so that's a great story. We're going to learn a little bit more about how Naaman feels about that and kind of the aftermath of that. And then also, one of Elisha's servants gets into trouble. Can I have someone read? We'll just do 15 to 18 real quick.
Then Naaman and all his attendants went back to the man of God. He stood before him and said, "Now I know that there is no God in all the world except in Israel. Please accept now a gift from your servant." The prophet answered, "As surely as the Lord lives, whom I serve, I will not accept a thing." And even though Naaman urged him, he refused. "If you will not," said Naaman, "please let me, your servant, be given as much earth as a pair of mules can carry. For your servant will never again make burnt offerings and sacrifices to any other god but the Lord. But may the Lord forgive your servant for this one thing. When my master enters the temple of Rimmon to bow down, and he is leaning on my arm, and I bow there also, when I bow down in the temple of Rimmon, may the Lord forgive your servant for this."
All right. I really like this section. We got a few questions, but anything stand out to you guys first?
What does he need all that dirt for?
Yeah. Well, that's what's kind of interesting is, I mean, what's he trying to? That's a great question. I really have no idea.
So we can stand on the earth that he
Yeah.
knew had the real God.
Yeah, he thinks it's the soil.
Yeah. As I was reading it, that made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we carrying dirt?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that that's the thing he's kind of worried about.
But Naaman's giving it to, I mean, Naaman's giving it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the other way around.
Well, he's trying to give.
He wants to take it. Here's my footnote here.
Mm-hmm.
Only recently converted to the God of Israel, Naaman thought that he needed to worship God on Israelite soil
Mm-hmm.
if his offerings were to be acceptable. The notion prevailed in his day that the domain of a god was determined by national borders.
Oh,
For
Yeah.
other instances of this view, you can see all the references you can go to check it out.
Well, yeah, and before that, in verse 15, right, Naaman tries to give Elisha what? He says, accept now a present from your servant.
yeah, he tried to give him something.
Yeah, I mean, why would
wouldn't
he?
accept it?
Yeah, why? First of all, why would Naaman try to do that? Second, why wouldn't Elisha accept it?
You always think you have to give something to get something.
Yeah, yeah.
So he just felt like he needed to pay him for it.
Well, it was God that cleansed him, not Elisha.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he probably, maybe if we're going to try to think about it the best way, like he's grateful and so he wants to give Naaman something. But like you said, it's God who did this. And I just think it's interesting that Elisha won't accept it in the same way, remember he's a Syrian, right? He's not an Israelite. He's not one of them. He's kind of outside of them. If you remember throughout the Bible, this is sort of a thing where, Abraham refused after he rescued Lot and the king of Sodom in Genesis. This is before God destroys the town, obviously. The king of Sodom tries to give Abraham all these things and he won't accept them. So, I don't know. It's interesting.
well, and then didn't the Shunammite woman give him a
Yeah.
whole room?
And she was in Israel, and so he accepted the gifts from her. So
Yeah.
there's just a lot of interesting kind of little things baked into this. What do you think about Naaman here? I mean, just from what he says and what he does, I mean, what do you learn about his faith? Really stood out to me. So first of all, he returns to give thanks, right? I mean, he realizes that it's God who's done this. Kind of like, remember the 10 lepers in Luke's gospel, only one of them returns to give thanks. This leper returns to give thanks. But I mean, look at what he says in uh, verse 17. From now on, your servant will not offer burnt offerings or sacrifice to any God but the Lord. And then remember, when it has the Lord, that's the personal name of God. So he's not just saying a random God, but he's saying the God of Israel. I mean, what does that indicate? And think about, like, what's the typical view of religion at this time? Is it monotheism? The worship of one God?
Oh, no,
No, yeah, it's,
all kinds.
yeah.
He's worried about having to take his pastor
Mm-hmm.
to church. Well, we would call it church.
Yeah,
And now he has to bow with him to,
he's asking forgiveness before he ever does it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which is interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. So I totally think Naaman has genuine faith because he says that the God of Israel is the only God, right? I mean, that's the first commandment. You shall have no other gods. And he's not going to sacrifice offerings to any other gods. I mean, that's better than most of the Israelites at this point who are, I know it's been a little bit, but they were sacrificing to everything, everyone. Naaman, he actually gets it. He's a Gentile and he grasps the first commandment, which again,
Only been healed like maybe
I
a
know.
few hours and now he's already worried.
He's already-
He's gonna live this life
yes.
in his country.
Well, then it's just another perfect sort of fast forwarding when you think of baptism. It's you receive this grace and now you walk in this, you live this life, right? He's trying to live the Christian life. And of course, what happens? Well, right? You're called, I guess, to be, what is the saying? Not of in the world, but not of the world, things like that. He's become a believer, and now, hey, when you become a believer, there's suffering. There's bearing with these difficult things. You're returning to the world where there's non-Christians, right?
He's not willing to share that faith though, or witness to it, if he's already into Africa.
Yes. This is why I think this story is so fun because, right, is this a faithful plan? Remember what Elijah said to Judah and Israel on the Mount Carmel? How long will you go limping between two different opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal, then follow him,
Yeah.
right? So, like, what are we to make of this request? Or think of Joseph, maybe that's a good one. Joseph and Pharaoh. Joseph lives under Pharaoh. He lives amongst, right? He lives amongst the Egyptians. He still believes in Jehovah, God. Think of Daniel's friends. They Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Right? They live in this foreign land, and the rule is you have to bow down and worship when the trumpet goes. They don't, so they go into the fiery furnace. I mean, all of that. So what do you think? I keep talking, but what do you think about this request? He says, "Forgive me now when I have to go and do this." And I think the point is he has to help his master. Rimmon, I can tell you more about Rimmon later.
Yeah.
What a witness it would be coming back.
Well, remember, how did Naaman even find out about the God of Israel? Through the servant girl. Remember, he took the servant girl in the beginning of this chapter when they defeated Israel, and she came and told him. See, this is the best way to go to church. You invite someone, then they invite someone, and then I mean, it is. Yeah. I don't know what to think of that. The word here is he prays the Lord would pardon your servant. And I was looking into this word a little bit, and it's the same word used in Hebrews 2:17 of Jesus. Therefore, he had to be made like his brothers in every respect, so that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in the service of God, to make propitiation for the sins of his people. It's that propitiation word. See, again, you see how great his faith is, that he's praying that his Lord would make atonement for his sins, pay for them, right? This is the prayer of faith. Don't hold my sins against me, though I have to return to this vocation. Okay, I think it's interesting. So a little bit more about Rimmon. Rimmon it means pomegranate, which is kind of fun. Remember when we talked about pomegranates?
Yeah.
We had a nice snack
We're
together.
wondering how come they're so prominent?
Yeah,
Right,
well,
by the aerials.
pomegranate is a symbol of power and fertility because of all the seeds inside, and they were on the temple. Remember, God told them to put them on the
Yeah.
temple. They're on the bottom of the robes. And so it's kind of interesting that these Syrians worship that God. So yeah, what I'm trying to make the point here is, I mean, we kind of have to. I don't think we really know. Like he's saying, I have to go back and remember he's the commander of the army. He's probably second in command for Syria. He's got to go back and do this. But he's praying as he does this, Lord, don't hold it against me.
Mhm.
I think it shows that he's a true Israelite because he has faith, right? This is what Romans says. Romans 2, circumcision indeed is of value if you obey the law, but if you break the law, your circumcision becomes uncircumcision. So if a man who is uncircumcised keeps the precepts of the law, will not his circumcision be regarded as circumcision? This is the main point. He who is physically circumcised but keeps the law will condemn you, who have the written code and circumcision but break the law. For no one is a Jew who is merely one outwardly, nor is circumcision outward and physical, but a Jew is one inwardly. Circumcision is a matter of the heart, by the Spirit, right? His heart is changed. His heart is circumcised, right? And I mean, he prays the prayer that we should all pray. Don't hold my sins against me for the sake of another. I mean, I don't know. I really like this. Why don't you think Elisha takes a firm stance? What does he say at this request? In verse 19.
We haven't read that.
Oh, he said to him, go in peace.
Yeah.
He didn't really say he would, he just said go in peace.
I know, that's why it's like,
Your conscience will let you do that.
yeah, he doesn't say no, he doesn't say yes, he just says go in peace.
Well,
Which
kind of
usually
saying
is,
yes.
yeah, it's
Go in
usually is
peace.
a blessing.
Be okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we say depart in peace all the time in our church service. It's just so fascinating that he's going back to do this. Okay, last question. Remember, he's the commander of what army? Naaman,
Syria.
Assyrians, and they fight Israel.
Israel.
How might Naaman's new worship of Israel's God change the way he leads Syria in war against the Israelites?
Well, maybe.
He might be
yeah.
more careful, I mean, he knows their God is.
The real one. I don't know.
It might be easier to say, go in peace than. Start fighting. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the application here is, right, what I would say is the Daniel's friends thing. Don't bow down to any gods that are not the true God, right?
But he's.
That's what I'm
He's in a
getting.
bad position.
That's what I'm getting at, yeah.
Is he can't just change jobs, right? When you work for the king, I mean, that's like.
Yeah,
Being
exactly.
a traitor, right? You're pretty much a death sentence, right? If
Mhm.
you like.
It's like if you resign from the top position in the country and then post your resignation letter online or something.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
Uh,
Yeah, but it's a public position and it's not, right? It's the king says you're done when I say you're done,
Right.
you know?
but the king is old and feeble. That's why he has to help him. Yes, what? Yeah.
Well, and then there's all the, see, I really like this story. I think there's this other aspect. Maybe if he does stay there, he can eventually bear witness to the Syrian king, right? Staying in your, right? It's easy to run the other way, right? If you've ever been at a bad church, right?
Oh,
It's easier. I mean,
or dislike the minister.
yeah, it's easier just to go away instead of bearing with them.
No, I was here first. That was,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I was here first and I'm gonna outlast him.
It's the good thing about the vicar, you always outlast them.
Yeah.
I always.
No, that's a,
Mhm. Yeah, well, we don't hear about Naaman really again.
okay.
But this next section is fun too. Any more questions on that? I know I kind of made a big fuss about that, but I think it's just,
It's okay.
So we're not gonna learn how he fights against, how he leads his army.
Well, I think maybe if we read on, maybe.
well, oh yeah, I should make this point. Remember 4 through 8 are not, I keep saying that, but they're not chronological. They're kind of just miracles of Elisha. Here we go. This is a good preview. Can someone read 20 to 27?
But when Naaman had gone from him a short distance, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, "See, my master has spared this Naaman of the Syrian, in not accepting from his hand what he brought. As the Lord lives, I will run after him and get something from him." So Gehazi followed Naaman, and when Naaman saw someone running after him, he got down from the chariot to meet him and said, "Is all well?" And he said, "All is well. My master has sent me to say, there have just now come to me from the hill country of Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Please give them a talent of silver and 2 changes of clothing. And Naaman said, be pleased to accept 2 talents. And he urged him and tied up 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of clothing and laid them on 2 of his servants. And they carried them before Gehazi.
I can read the rest.
Okay.
That'll help. And when he came to the hill, he took them from their hand and put them in the house, and he sent the men away, and they departed. He went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said to him, where have you been, Gehazi? And he said, your servant went nowhere. But he said to him, did not my heart go when the man turned from his chariot to meet you? Was it a time to accept money and garments, olive orchards and vineyards, sheep and oxen, male servants and female servants? Therefore the leprosy of Naaman shall cling to you and to your descendants forever. So he went out from his presence, a leper like snow.
Wow. That's
You
what
know-
you get for lying.
Stuart read ahead last time, and he was saying that the Gehazi is like the vicar, and I was telling Stuart, this is why I like teaching the women. They're nicer.
Yeah, well, I would say that too.
Exactly. Do you remember who Gehazi is, where we saw him last?
I don't remember.
I always test your guys' memory, like free memory. Remember he was the one in chapter 4 where you had that Shunammite woman. He was the one who said, Elisha, you should give her a child. He was the one Elisha sent to go and try to revive the child and failed. So he's Elisha's servant.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, and what actions does he take in this chapter to get what he wants? He lies. Yes. He saw that Naaman had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and he hadn't accepted anything. You know,
Mhm.
Elisha hadn't accepted anything from him, so therefore, well, we better get something.
He's like, I want to get paid for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you see, remember, it was what Naaman had brought in verse 5, 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, 10 changes of clothing,
Yeah, he had.
right? He had a lot.
Stuff.
And so Gehazi lies. He says, my master sent me to collect this. There's people in need. And
Yeah, 2 young men from the prophets.
mhm.
Uh-huh, yeah, right.
Many lies. When he says, as the Lord lives, isn't that like taking the Lord's name? and-
Yeah, he's swearing,
Right.
which a lot of times people are put to death for that, right?
Right.
I mean, what does that show you about a false prophet?
Yeah,
I mean,
they are amongst us.
they are amongst us. They use the name of the Lord. They come in the name of the Lord, and they deceive, right? They're not just worried about the fruit of the gospel, but they want moment. They want
Material.
material things. Right? So there is that human aspect. You're not supposed to take offerings and money from non-Israelites, right? But there's also this aspect of, well, he's exploiting it. What is,
Well, he
yeah.
didn't take everything. I mean,
There.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, remember, sons of prophet. I mean, financially, remember last chapter, they were starving, so much so that they were making that deadly stew that went wrong. That sons of the prophet last chapter 2 had a widow who he left debt to, so maybe Gehazi's kind of in that camp where they're really struggling.
Was he really gonna share with them though? I mean, let's be honest.
No, he puts it in his house before he goes back to Elisha. And what does he tell Elisha? I've been nowhere.
Like a bad boy. But he found
Yeah.
Yeah, he lied really good, okay.
It shows lies, a lie leads to another lie, right?
All of a sudden, it becomes very easy to tell lies.
Mhm.
And then you can't remember all the lines.
Yeah.
No, then you just get tripped
Put
up.
stuck in your mouth. It says in here that Paul wrote that the love of money
Mm-hmm.
is a root of all evil.
Mhm.
And, some people eager for money have wandered from their faith
Of course, yeah.
and pierced themselves with many griefs,
Mm-hmm.
many griefs. Happening all time.
The qualification for a pastor in 1 Timothy 3 is not quarrelsome, not a lover of money, right? That's actually
Right.
one of the requirements of him.
Right.
Yeah, Jesus himself says that how difficult it is for rich people to enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? That's his words. Just because the draw of money is so tempting, right? Because it brings power. It brings the thought that this world is all that there is.
Well, you begin to think that you can do it on your own. Right.
Yeah.
That everything is a gift from God.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me.
I've done.
I'm powerful, watch out for me.
Mm-hmm. And this is the Proverbs. He prays, Lord, don't give me too much so that I deny you, and don't give me too little that I starve. It's like, give me the middle, right? It's a good prayer.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
So if, do you think if he would have, asked God for forgiveness, given it to the poor, you know.
Yeah.
You know how we are, we try to, I
Yeah.
gotta fix this now.
Yeah,
Do you
What
think
would you
God's
do?
heart would have changed, or?
I don't know.
Well, he not only,
He shouldn't have lied. That's the first thing.
Right.
But
not only does he show judgment on him, but on the descendants.
Yeah.
Because of.
and I was trying to find if you can find any of his descendants anywhere, and I couldn't find any. But it shows you how much the Lord was not too happy with this. And yeah, what do you think of this punishment? Because I have a thought. What do you think of that? That he has leprosy given to him. And remember, it's so contagious. That's probably why it never leaves his house.
It seems really harsh
Yeah.
to me, but I'm not telling.
well, he was, he was totally being deceiving, and so, I don't know. He got what was.
It's fitting because of why he was asking for money, because he had been healed of leprosy, now he won't suffer with that.
Mhm.
So that part is God being God, you know.
I think God has a sense of humor. Because think about it.
Well, yeah.
A liar, what do you know about liars? It's hard to detect them, right? It's hard to, once you figure it out, then you know, but at first glance, when someone lies to you for the first time, it's like,
Yeah, you don't know.
but now that he's got a leper, everyone can see outside, we need to beware of this guy, right? This guy, it's a sort of outward mark, right? Lepers would have to cry out. Unclean, unclean. They'd have to live away from people. And so there's like this sort of, I don't know. It is harsh though.
It isn't death.
It isn't death. Which he deserves. He swore by the Lord. There you go.
But some things are worse than death.
Like leprosy.
Right.
Well,
I mean.
That puts it all in
Absolutely.
perspective.
What by keeping.
Absolutely.
Give some time to repent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's another good point. See? The debate goes on. Those are all good points. And I don't know, Naaman is deceived, but he doesn't seem to mind.
Well, does he know that, I mean, he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He's deceived.
I know, I don't know. And he never returns the stuff. That's another thing. What happens to the stuff? I think you were saying that, Dan.
Yeah.
He never gives it away or anything like that.
Well, if he's got leprosy now, he's probably gonna need.
He's gonna need that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I think that section's good.
So I mean, I guess it's a good lesson, like, be careful what you wish for. I mean, he's got money now, but now he doesn't have his.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Yeah, if that's what you want, have it, but it's not actually going to get you anywhere. Yeah, that's a great point. Kind of like that story of Ahab and the vineyard kind of stands out, right? He gets the vineyard, but doesn't actually really get anywhere. He kind of destroys his soul by doing that, right? Naboth. Okay. Anything else on chapter 5? Chapter 6. I wasn't going to read 1 through 7 word for word, but I might actually now. So we'll just do that real quick. It's really short, but it's kind of a fun story. Sons of the prophet said to Elijah, "See, the place where we dwell under your charge is too small for us. Let us go to the Jordan, each of us get there a log. Let us make a place for us to dwell there." Right? So that shows they're getting two, right? The sons of the prophet, remember, they're studying to be prophets, and there's becoming so many of them that they don't have enough space.
Mhm.
One of them said, "Be pleased to go with your servants." And he answered, "I will go." He went with them, and when they came to the Jordan, they cut down trees. As one, but as one was felling a log, his axe head fell into the water, and he cried out, "Alas, my master, it was borrowed." Man of God said, "Where did it fall?" Now you have to throw out all of your middle school science experiments. When he showed him the place, he cut off a stick and threw it in there and made the iron float. He said, "Take it up." So he reached out his hand and took it.
Yeah,
So,
It doesn't depend on science.
well, all of these miracles have been showing Elisha's great, right, how much prophetic wisdom he has, right? That he told Naaman, "Go wash," and it came to be. Remember the stew? He put a little flour in it. I mean, the widow in her oil, he raises the Shunammite woman from the dead, her son. And now here, he throws a stick in the water and makes iron float. It's just,
well, that's good.
you know,
Those, those were expensive tools and they
Mhm.
were hard to come by and.
and it shows that he's poor. He can't replace it. He borrowed it.
Mhm.
So you'd probably be enslaved. All these sons of the prophets are in debt. Okay, that was just kind of a fun little story, but the more interesting one is this next section. Someone read 8 to 14.
Once when the king of Syria was warring against Israel, he took counsel with his servants, saying, "At such and such a place shall be my king." But the man of God sent word to the king of Israel, "Beware that you do not pass this place, for the Syrians are going down there." And the king of Israel sent to the place about which the man of God told him. Thus he used to warn him, so that he saved himself there more than once or twice. And the mind of the king of Syria was greatly troubled because of this thing. And he called his servants and said to them, "Will you not show me who of us is for the king of Israel?" And one of his servants said, "None, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet who is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedroom." And he said, "Go and see where he is, and I may send and seize him." It was told him, "Behold, he is in Dothan." So he sent there horses and chariots and a great army, and they came by night and surrounded the city.
Hmm.
Here I thought it was the healed guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know exactly who it is.
Secretly telling him.
But Elisha is helping who?
Something he isn't, but.
Yeah. He's helping the king of Israel, telling them where the Syrians are camping. So remember, Syria and Israel are battling these wars they started under Ahab. Right, Syria keeps taking land after land from them. But even though Israel's wicked, right, Elisha's still helping them have victory, which again, it shows his prophetic power that we'll get to that. Um, first of all, how does the Syrian, there's so many interesting questions here. How does the Syrian servant know Elisha is the one doing it?
Well, because he's telling everything he's heard from the king. He tells,
Mm-hmm.
he repeats what he hears from
Yeah.
from him.
Well, in verse 12, like, yeah, he tells, right?
What I heard in,
Does he have a spy in Israel's court?
I don't know,
You know?
camera. Yeah. But somehow he knows what the king even says in his own bedroom, so.
Yeah, and that's the next question. How does Elisha know the Syrians' plans?
Well, he's got his own little spies.
You
He's
think?
gotta have spies, right? I don't know how else you know
God
this.
is giving him the wisdom.
Maybe Naaman is throwing him a few.
Hey, I know, I'm looking for it.
I think all these are kind of fun. How does the Syrian know Elisha's the one?
Well, you wonder if Naaman shared that with, maybe not the king, but with others.
Mm-hmm.
They had to ask what happened to you, you come back to
Yeah.
your.
Let's see.
Go on.
He just needed some vacation, some sun.
Well, this wasn't the first time that Elisha had warned.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
Time and again, Elisha warns the king, so he's on guard. Well,
Mhm.
I mean, so that they have to be trusting him.
Mm.
They have to be trusting him.
There's so many questions. Wish I knew more. It tells us. They go to Dothan. This is another fun part. This is another fun part. They know exactly where Elisha is. And what do? I mean, this is, they've kind of captured this at this point. So this is Syria. Dotham's right here. Oh, let's just send our soldiers
Yeah.
into Dotham, into Israel's territory, into Dotham. Right?
Yeah.
And that's where we pick up in the next part. So,
And it's still going on today. The same chaos.
yeah.
For the Holy Land, you'd expect a little bit less chaos and a little more holy, and it's not.
This is true. I think Elisha gets the direct revelation. I think it's more fun that way. God's telling him where the Syrian kings are. Honestly, Elisha's like greater than Elijah, is what I'm kind of starting to see. Like, I feel like we usually talk about Elijah, but because of the Mount Carmel, but so many of these things Elisha does is just,
So he's really in Jeroboam's territory, not really. he's
yeah.
Not down in Judah.
Yeah, so a majority of Elijah and Elisha's ministry is in Israel, in the northern kingdom. And you have the study Bible, right?
Yeah.
If you go to 529 on there, it was just that handout I gave you guys. A lot of kings, remember what we were doing was, this is a good time to review this, was history. So we were moving from king to king to king. But with Elijah and Elisha, time really slows down. So there's really only a few kings of Israel at this point. If you look on that right-hand side, prophets of Israel, Elisha is king during Ahaziah, Jehoram, Jehu. So these are all descendants of Ahab. When you get to Jehu, it's a different house. So yeah, a majority of their ministry is in the north. the northern kingdom, which would have been Jeroboam's land. Okay, so a typical day in Elisha's office, the Syrians are sending chariots and armies to his house, just like Naaman showed up outside of his house. Someone want to read, and this is a really great section. Maybe we can split this up. Can someone read 15 to 19?
When the servant of the man of God rose early in the morning and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was all around the city. And the servant said, Alas, my master, what shall we do? How far did I?
You can go to 19.
He said, Do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Then Elisha prayed and said, O Lord, please open his eyes so that he may see. So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. And when the Syrians came down against him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, Please strike these people with blindness. So he struck them with blindness in accordance with the prayer of Elisha. And Elisha said to them, This is not the way, and this is not the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek. And he led them to Samaria.
You can stop right there. He strikes them with blindness in accordance with the prayer of Elisha. Remember, it was the prayer of Elijah that led to the famine for 3 years. And it's the prayer of Elijah that took that brought rain. Remember, we looked at that in 1 Kings. Okay. What stands out? I think it's 16 and 17 and 18. I mean, what's that referring to?
God's provision, how he cares, takes care of them.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see that.
Yeah.
Their eyes open.
Yeah, that this prophet gets to see. I mean, this is a great passage because it's a powerful reminder that God sends his holy angels to us, right? I mean, that's what he says. Let him see. The Lord opened his eyes and he saw it's full of horses and chariots and fire all around. Those aren't the armies of Israel. Those are the holy angels, right? And I mean, like you were saying, Bev, that this is actually really comforting. It's because even though you don't see God and his angels surrounding you, he's there fighting for you, right? This is why we pray in Luther's morning prayer, let your holy angel be with me, right? This is what you hear in the Psalms. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him.
I like Luther's little sentence that he adds here.
Hmm.
All that remains for us now is to pray that our eyes, that is the eyes of our faith, may be opened, that we may see the church all around us.
Ooh, I like that. I didn't even read that. I didn't like that.
Yeah, very good.
So when he asks that they strike the people with blindness, does he mean blindness so they don't see the chariots like the prophets, the angels like the prophets do? Or are they totally like, is that?
I think they're blind, like,
So you can take him where he wants to.
which is what he'll
He's gonna
do,
lead them.
which is interesting.
He's leading them.
Who else
to
is,
Samaria.
yeah, who else is struck blind in the Bible on a road?
Oh,
Saul, yeah, because he sees the angel of the Lord. Well, he
Mhm.
sees Christ, but
Mhm.
yeah, they're blinded by the light to sing a good song. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, and it could, I mean, they don't see them. I think that's why it's so amazing is, of course, they don't see, right? This is the Christian's reality, that there are forces that we don't see at work. There are angels and devils fighting, but that God sends his holy angels to provide for us. And you see this throughout the Holy Scriptures. After Jesus fasts for 40 days, who comes and ministers to him? The angels. What do the shepherds see in the fields?
The angels.
The angels,
The angels came and.
Yeah. What do the best one? What do the apostles and the women see in the empty tomb? The angels. Yeah, that. I don't know. I think Pastor Mishnik just did a Bible study on them, but
That was very interesting.
yeah, it's you can see why people are so fascinated with them and kind of get off the rails with them, but
And they do.
yeah.
God sent those angels.
Yeah, we don't
Those
worship
angels just
them.
Didn't come out of,
Yeah, we don't worship them and
no,
we don't pray to them,
no.
but that's what's so
Sometimes
Fun.
I thank my
Yeah.
heavenly angel when I don't
Yeah.
have the car crash that I really should have had.
yeah. That they protect us. That's why it's so interesting because they are spiritual beings. They don't have a physical body, but then sometimes in the Bible you encounter them with, you see them. So it's kind of fun. The Bible is a very deep book. So yes, they're struck with blindness. And I think what stood out to me is it's the whole army.
Now, where is he gonna take them back to? Where's
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's not that far of a walk. I mean,
Okay,
they're always walking. They're in Dothan. I think they're going to Samaria as well.
okay, he just takes them. there.
Just a stroll down.
Okay,
But, it's like Simon says, follow my voice, right?
yeah,
But again, over and over, you see the power God gives to him as a prophet. All right, let's see what he does to the armies. So I want to do 20 to 23. Or I can do it. As soon as they entered Samaria, Elisha said, O Lord, open the eyes of these men, that they may see. The Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. How'd we get here? As soon as the king of Israel saw them, he said to Elisha, My father, shall I strike them down? Shall I strike them down? He answered, You shall not strike them down. Would you strike down those whom you have taken captive with your sword and with your bow? Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master. So he prepared for them a great feast, and when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. The Syrians did not come again on raids into the land of Israel.
ah. He killed them with kindness.
Yeah.
They need that in the footnote.
You know, yeah. Yeah,
I like it, the Syrians did not come again on raids into the land of Israel.
no,
Like, we're not going back there.
I don't know what we just went through there.
we
Why
were
does the
blind.
king of Israel address Elijah?
I have no idea. I mean, remember, this is the words Elisha uses to Elijah. I think that's it, right? He says, my father, yeah. Remember when Elijah is going up to heaven, Elisha says, my father, the chariots of Israel are here. I think it's maybe that recognition from the king of Israel that Elisha is the prophet. He's the guy. Would be my guess. But he seems to have a closer relationship with this king than Elijah did with Ahab. Okay. Why just, remember the first rule of reading the Bible, scripture interprets scripture. Why would they not strike down the Syrians?
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. In war, when you capture, you
Mhm.
don't kill everything,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Except like, and Hitler, he killed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, they're
that's supposed
prisoners.
to be, that's the way war is.
Yeah,
You're not supposed.
I think so. If you take them and again, this is a display of God's power that they were blind and surrounded, led to this.
Yeah,
And what do? I mean, they actually feed them.
Yeah,
They feed an entire army of bread and water. Right?
Sorry, I have to
Oh, no, you're
get
good.
to an appointment, so.
we'll see.
Have a
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yes. He prepares them a great feast and they eat and drink. It's just like you think of,
Well,
Yeah.
showing mercy.
Yeah.
And the more we show mercy, maybe the more they can become believers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
totally.
I think it's,
Well, the Syrians did not come again on raids, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
obviously the kindness.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you realize there's something in the world that doesn't want us in complete harmony? And you know who he is.
Yeah.
Chaos is chaos, and that's what he wants.
Hmm.
But he's not gonna win all. No, but he's gonna have a good time until he gets there.
Hmm.
He's doing a good job of stirring up the pot all the time.
Yeah, you have Christ saying that there'll be wars and rumors of wars. And people always are like, see, now the last day is here. I'm like, well, there's been wars and rumors of wars since Christ left. So we've been in the last days. Did you not see the last century? Like, there was a lot of wars and rumors of war there. Yeah, definitely though, that the devil loves stirring up conflict and division. And like you were saying, Sharon, that they actually turn the other cheek here. Right? I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And they feed them. I mean, that's a whole other step. It's one thing not to just slaughter them all, but they actually give them a meal, which is
the great feast.
the common courtesy, right? This is why we do love America, because America tries not to kill their prisoners. They take care of them. They don't just slaughter them all, right?
But this says it was not prison food. I think we feed our prisoners.
Yes. Yeah, this is a feast. Which is funny in the whole scheme of things, is because they go there to essentially kill Elisha.
Well, they went to kill.
Yeah, and then he leads them to a feast after they're blind.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that they're blind and then they can see and all of those things.
They're probably singing Amazing Grace.
No, I think that's where it comes from. Yeah, I mean, really,
Yeah. Definitely.
he's gonna change their hearts. That's
Mhm.
what I think.
When you come to see how much the king of Israel, or we don't know which king it is, but how much he trusts in Elisha's advice, right? The prophet not only would tell the people God's word, but he also was an advisor to the king.
Mhm.
The king's like, well, here's our enemy. Should I just kill them all? No.
Isn't there some place in the New Testament that talks about that with us
Probably.
telling us to, or I just read it someplace, but,
Mhm.
if you have somebody that you don't like or whatever, you basically be very kind to them. Sometimes it drives
Kill 'em
them,
with
well,
kindness.
yeah, it drives them nuts if you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a place in the New Testament with that. I can't remember, but
It's you on one side, Fred, and one on
Right.
the other side.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because sometimes it's hard to do, but at the same time, it drives them crazy.
That's true.
They
Yeah.
want
I'm
you
trying to
They
think.
want you to,
To strike out.
strike back at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, St. Paul says in Romans, don't overcome evil with evil, but overcome evil with good.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's always the sign of true strength, right? We're not pacifists as Christians, right? We believe in the government, police, order, and justice, right? We don't want Christians just to get slaughtered. But like you're saying, if they're killing you just because you're a Christian, that is a way to bear witness. I mean, think of Saint Stephen in Acts 4 or whatever. He gets to die in a very similar way to Jesus, and he bears witness to his faith, all the apostles except John. So there's always that balance.
So why do they want Elisha to die? I mean, what was?
Because he keeps telling the king where they're taking camp at.
Okay.
And they were raiding, that's kind of the idea of what they were doing is, because they're so close, because Israel is struggling with their kingdom, they would send raiders back and forth, kind of like guerrilla warfare.
So Elisha always knew what to tell them, what to.
Yeah, which is funny in verse 8. Through 10, right? The prophet kept telling the king of Israel, this is where they're gonna be. So. Old Testament is fun.
Kind of strange that they think that they can just kill one man and that take care of the problem.
Well, they said the same thing of Christ, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
If we kill him,
Right.
right,
It'll all go away.
Yeah.
Guess what?
that didn't work out very well.
So there'll be another I'm sure there'd be another
Yeah, Caiaphas says if it's better for one man to die for the whole nation than for the Romans to come and take our empire, or our place. Which of course is wrong. But of course that was God's plan.
He has a plan for us, we just don't really know how to live. But we gotta listen.
Mm-hmm.
We don't listen sometimes. It's like our ears get cotton stuck in them and we can't hear.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Just don't take the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you have to be still and know that I am God.
How many of us
And-
are still these days?
yeah.
that do that?
You have to be still in order to hear and to
My grandma used to say, till he knocks you behind the knee and not, you have to get down on your knees and pray, you will kind of think you're too strong for it.
Yep. Everyone think they can take a punch in the face until they get punched. Maybe that's more of a men thing. Yeah, okay, well, we'll end there.